Hi, hello, and welcome to Math at a Go. Here we are on the 5th day of our 18-day action plan with the chapter called Quadratic Equations. This is an important chapter and half-learned chapter. How half it is already learned in polynomials. The quadratic equation we thought, its zeros we found, its graph we drew. Its zeros are found using factorization method, using graph method there. And what is left are only two methods to be learned here. Very much interesting and very scoring chapter. So let's go. The first question says x cube minus 4x square minus x plus 1 is equal to x minus 2 whole square. The question is it a quadratic equation or not? What is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is that equation whose degree is 2. So if an equation has degree 2, it is called a quadratic equation. And here we deal with only one variable. Please concentrate. In this chapter we deal with quadratic equations of one variable only. So let us see, does this become a quadratic equation or not? On the first look of the problem, we see the cube, which means its degree is 3. Therefore, we might say it is not a quadratic equation. Because its degree is 3, it cannot be said to be quadratic. But it is wrong to do so. Then what? Always take the most simplified form so that no more simplification is possible, and only then decide its degree. That is the thing. So here it is in this form, but we have something to be simplified here, and that to be brought this side, and so many things to do. Finally, only then we have to decide it. As of now, we can't decide its degree. So let us see how we can do that. So this is x cube as it is minus 4x square minus x plus 1. This on expansion becomes x cube, that is a cube, minus 3a square b. So minus 3a square b, 3x square b. So it becomes 6x square. Next it becomes 3ab square, 3ab square. So this becomes 4, 4 is 12, so it becomes 12x, and this is minus 8. So this is expansion. This you should know by now. Now, getting all these terms this side, let us see what happens. So this is x cube minus 4x square minus x plus 1. This changes its symbols as they come. So minus x cube plus 6x square minus 12x plus 8 is equal to 0. Because all are brought here, 0 remains there. Now x cube get cancelled. We have 1 4x square, 1 6x square. In the sense they make up 2x square finally. The x term is minus x here and minus 12x here, so it becomes minus 13x here. So plus 1 plus 8 is plus 9 is equal to 0. Now this is the final equation which we can no more simplify. So for this we have to decide the degree, not at that stage. Now its degree is 2, therefore this is a quadratic equation as its degree is only 2. So we calculate the degree only for the simplified form, not for the unsimplified form where there is more possibility for simplification. Now to tell you the standard form of a quadratic equation, let us see what it can be. Because it is second degree, it should have an x square. And as discussed, it is only in one variable, so it will have only one more x. So if you have one more x with power 2, this x square and this x square combine to form only one term. So we cannot imagine another term with x square. So there can be another term with x to the power of 1. That means this cannot be added, so it can be like that. So because in a quadratic equation, all the terms must be either belonging to the second degree or of first degree or of 0 degree, so that the highest of them 2 is considered the degree of the equation. So it is already the highest. Now the next step lower will be x to the power of 1, next step lower will be x to the power of 0, which means a constant. So you will have one more constant. So let us take plus symbol for generalization. So x square plus x plus c is the standard form of a quadratic equation. But to call it an equation, we should make it equal to 0. And there may also be some coefficients. So the first coefficient be x and next coefficient be b. Then this is actually the standard form of a quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c. But what are ABC? ABC are all real numbers. They all belong to real numbers. Then do we have any conditions like that we had in linear equations? that a square plus b square must not be equal to 0? Yes, there is a rule. Here, a must not be equal to 0. What if a is equal to 0? If a is equal to 0, 0 into this becomes 0. So this results in vanishing of this one. Finally, this results in a linear equation. So for it to be a quadratic equation, a must not be equal to 0. Then can b be equal to 0? Yes, why not? If b is 0, this becomes 0. No matter, we have the second degree maintained. So b can vanish, b can be equal to 0, c can be equal to 0, but a must not be equal to 0. That means if something is like x square is equal to 0, is it a quadratic equation? Definitely. Its degree is 2, therefore this is a quadratic equation. So in this standard form, the coefficient of x square is a, the coefficient of x is b, the constant term is c. This is very important, and based on this we learn a lot of things as we go ahead in this chapter. Now the second problem is very well known to you, finding its roots. 2x square plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Finding its roots. What are its roots? Roots is another name for zeros or another name for solutions. So whether you are asked to find the solutions of that, or to solve it, or to find its zeros, or to find its roots, it's all the same. So the method he has asked us to find out is factorization method. We have already learned it using factorization method. So let us go for a small revision now. It's nothing. You will multiply this one and this one. Before that, we arrange it in the descending order of the powers of the variables. Then multiplying the x square term and the constant. So it becomes 6 to the 12 x square plus into minus, the symbol will be minus. So factorizing 12, 1 into 12, 2 into 6, 3 into 4. Now what should you do? You should subtract one from the other of these pair so as to get the middle term. What is the middle term? 1. Its the coefficient is 1. So let us see. Now 12 minus 1 is 11, doesn't satisfy us. 6 minus 2 is 4, doesn't satisfy. 4 minus 3 is 1, so it satisfies. So this is the pair we want. As discussed earlier, we will put x beside each of them. Now what should you do? You should subtract. In order to subtract, what should be the symbol for both? They should both have different symbols. That means if one has a plus symbol, another should have minus symbol. So what is the symbol for the middle term here? It is plus. So this plus symbol will be allotted for the bigger number here. So this will have plus symbol and this will have minus symbol. Now even if you multiply them, you will get the same. Let us see. Minus into plus is minus. 3 4s are 12. X into x is x square. So multiplying these, you will get this. Adding these according to algebraic addition, you will get the middle term. Why are we doing all this? So that taking common becomes easier for us and you will know it. Now rewriting this one by splitting the middle term into these two. So 2x square is 2x square as it is. Instead of this one, we write both these. Minus 3x plus 4x minus 6 will be equal to 0. Now in both of these, x is common. So taking x common, we get 2x minus 3. Writing the same 2x minus 3 here. If 2x is removed from this, we will get 2 plus 2. So this will be equal to 0. And finally, 2x minus 3, if you take common, we get x plus 2. Both of them are equal to 0. If both of them are zeros, we will have 2x minus 3 is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So in this case, 2x must be equal to 3 or x must be equal to minus 2. In this case, x must be equal to 3 by 2 or x is equal to minus 2. So these two are the zeros of the given quadratic equation. Please don't call polynomial here. Let us call it quadratic equation as mentioned in the question. So these two are the zeros of this quadratic equation, or these two are the roots of this quadratic equation. You can call by any name, but as the roots are asked here, let us name it as roots only. Therefore, the roots of the quadratic equation are 3 by 2 and minus 2. This is how we do it. It's well learnt before, therefore easier to understand. Thank you. Coming to the third question, find the roots of x plus 4 is equal to 12 by graph method. He's asking us to find it by graph method. Now I have a doubt, is it a linear equation or a quadratic equation? How do we know? We should decide its degree only after simplification if it is possible. So is simplification possible here? Definitely. Why not? You can multiply this. So let us multiply and see it. So x into x is x square plus 4 into x is 4x is equal to 12. So getting this here, this becomes x square plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0. Oh, this is a quadratic equation. Very simple to solve. Now, what is the method he has asked us to find the roots through? Through graph method. That means we have to draw a graph. This also you learned in the chapter called polynomials. So nothing hard to learn, nothing new to learn, but let us make a revision of the same. So as discussed, what do? We will take a big table wherein in the first row we will have x, and in the second, third, so on, we will take each term by term. So x square, next 4x, next minus 12, like this. You will go on taking, and once all the terms are finished, you will finally take up y for this one. So in order to avoid confusion, we decided to draw a double line here and a double line here, one after x and one before y. Now draw like this by taking 5 or 7 columns. So you can take the values like 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So let us see. Now what? We go on calculating these values in order to fill up the table. So x square, this means x square. So whatever the value of x is there, that should be squared and written here. So 0 squared is 0, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, minus 1 squared is also 1, it's 4, it's 9. Very simple. Now what about 4x? That means x should be multiplied by 4. So whatever the value of x is there, that must be multiplied by 4 and written here. So 4 into 0 is 0, 4 into 1 is 4, 4 into 2 is 8, 4 into 3 is 12, minus 4, minus 8, minus 12. Now finally it is minus 12. Minus 12 is independent of x. It has nothing to do with x. It is not connected to x in any way. It is independent. So it will have its value independently. So minus 12, minus 12, minus 12, minus 12, minus 12. Whenever it is constant, we will have the same value. Now that we have completed filling up all this, we will go for addition. Addition in the sense doing the simplification as per the symbols. So let us see. 0 plus 0 0 and minus 12 gives you minus 12. So plus 1 and plus 4 is 5. So 5 minus 12 is minus 7. 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 minus 12 is 0. 9 plus 12 is 21. 21 minus 12 is 9. Minus 12 minus 4 is minus 16. Plus 1 is minus 15. Minus 12 minus 8 is minus 20. Minus 20 is, this one is minus 16. Minus 12 minus 12 is minus 24. Minus 24 plus 9 is minus 15. Now this is all we have. So as discussed, what happens? Let us see. We will take up all these 0 minus 12. So 0 comma minus 12, 1 comma minus 7, 2 comma 0, 3 comma 9, minus 1 comma minus 15, minus 2 comma minus 16, minus 3 comma minus 15. So this is what happens. So these are the coordinates we have, and based on this we will draw a graph. So let us see how we can draw the graph. So on the graph, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So before starting with the graph, the y values range from minus 16 to plus 9. So both should have minimum of 16 above and 16 below. So let us take the scale of 2 units per each centimeter. So this becomes like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, like this. So this minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, minus 8, minus 10, minus 12, minus 16, and so on. Now this can be taken as 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Let us see what happens. Marking these points in the graph, let us see 0 comma minus 12. 0 comma minus 12 is something here. So you have to write here, but because it is very small, I am not writing. Please consider 1 comma minus 7. So 1 comma minus 7 is something here. Next 2 comma 0. 2 comma 0 is something here. Next 3 comma 9. So 3 comma 9 is something here. Now minus 1 comma minus 15, minus 1 comma minus 15. So it's because it is 14 here, it will be something 16 here, so it will be something minus 1 comma 15 here. Next minus 2 comma 16, minus 2 comma 16 here, minus 3 comma 15, so minus 3 comma 15 here once again. Now you have to join all these points, and because this is a quadratic equation, we will get a parabola as discussed earlier. So let us join all these. So this is the parabola we got. So this parabola touches the x-axis at some points, and where it touches the x-axis, there the x-coordinate is the 0 of this polynomial or root of this polynomial. So this is touching the x-axis here, 2 comma 0. So the value of x-coordinate is 2, therefore 2 is one of its zeros. But because this is a quadratic equation, this should have 2 zeros probably. So if you observe the graph appears like this has gone up and it will go up and up, so there is no chance for it to touch x-axis once again. But if you observe this one, the other end, if you go on increasing the values of x, it will probably go on to touch the x-axis once again. That means these values must be increased in the table so as to make it touch the x-axis once again. So we have taken up to minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 we have taken. So let us extend this table up to minus 4, minus 5. So please extend the graph like this. So minus 4, minus 5. Just take them and complete the table as discussed earlier. So x squared, 4 squared is 16. 4 into minus 4 is minus 16. It's minus 12. So here 16 and minus 16 get cancelled, therefore its value remains to be minus 12. Coming to this one, x squared means it will be 25. So 4 into x is minus 20. This is minus 12. If you add them, these both make up 32. Minus 32 plus 25 is minus 7. So let us see what we get to here. Now this is minus 4 and 12. So minus 4 and 12, it's here. Next is minus 5 and minus 7. Minus 5 and minus 7 here. So we are still here only. That means maybe we have to continue this table to one more value. So we'll continue up to minus 6. So minus 6 squared is 36. 4 into minus 6 is minus 24. And this is 12 for minus 12. Minus 12 minus 24 is minus 36. Plus 36 added becomes 0. So we have minus 6 comma 0. So here we have got minus 6 and 0. So finally this touches the x-axis here. So on plotting the graph has been a parabola touching the x-axis at 2 points, minus 6 comma 0 and 2 comma 0. Here the x coordinates are minus 6 and 2. Therefore its roots are minus 6 and 2. This is our answer. Thank you.